There's each side of the bridge actually there's a big warning sign warning of rock slides. The Puente de los Cuatro Ojos. So I wasn't expecting this. So hi everyone. Today I've come out to a completely new location. I've got no idea whether there's anything here worth photographing or not, so thought I'd come and scout it out. It's about 20 to 5 in the afternoon. Sunset tonight is about 9:15, so I've got quite a few hours to explore. I've come here because according to some of the information I can find, there's supposed to be the ruins of an old mill, the ruins of a small castle, and there's also supposed to be two large tall bridges, the Puente del Cinco Ojos and the Puente del Cuatro Ojos, which means the bridge of 5 eyes and the bridge of 4 eyes. But I'm not 100% sure where anything is, so it's going to be a lot of walking around and exploring. Now there is some kind of ruin up on a hill behind me up there. Now I don't know if that's the mill. I rather suspect it might be the ruins of a castle, in which case there's not a lot there to warrant taking pictures of. But we'll see. Anyway, time to do some more exploring, see what we can find. So sometimes it's just a case of coming out and having a look at a place, coming out and seeing what the scene looks like, what the opportunities are, and then I can either hang around this evening and take some pictures, or if the conditions don't look promising, and to be honest we've got completely clear blue skies, so they might not be promising, if it looks like a better option I can come back another time, but only if there's something worth taking pictures of. Yep, this has got to be the castle ruins. There's not much here. Commanding position up on a hill, thick stone walls, got to be the castle. I don't think there's much of a photographic opportunity from up here. There's some lovely views, it's a nice vantage point, lovely views, but nothing much to actually take any photographs of. I've got a feeling I might be able to see the old mill ruins down in the valley over there. Maybe. Have a look at that in a little while. Right, I don't think the castle's going to work today. It's got some possibilities, but I just don't think it's going to work in the conditions we've got today. I also discovered that there was no way further up the trails to get across the valley to the other side, and I think that's where I need to be to find the bridges and other things, so I've had to backtrack all the way back to my starting point and come down another trail. So this is the Vinalopó Valley, and there is a river that runs through here, but I don't think there's much of one. I think it's probably just a trickle, to be honest. I keep thinking I can hear water, but I think it's just wind in the reeds. This is the wine region. Past a few vineyards on the drive in, but there's no vineyards around this part. Okay, so I've managed to find the Puente de los Cinco Ojos, or the Bridge of the Five Eyes, and I'll try and give you a view of that in a second. I managed to find my way down to the base of the bridge and the trail that runs underneath, but in all honesty there isn't a composition to be had down here. There's each side of the bridge actually there's a big warning sign warning of rock slides, and any composition I might want to take is going to have that in it, and it just looks horrible, so I'm not going to take a shot from here. I'll try and give you a view from both sides. First from this side, then I'll go the other side and just shoot a little bit there, but the view from the other side might be a problem because of where the sun is at the moment. Oh, it's nice, but I just can't see a way to make a shot here, so I might have to try something else. Okay, so I've made it to the Bridge of the Four Eyes, the Puente de los Cuatro Ojos, and I managed to get down to the bottom here. It's a bit muddy, and I found this little pool of water with some grass growing along the sides, and then I've got the bridge up in the background with a lot of blue sky. Now there's no point in waiting until sunset, because in fact we're already losing the light on the bridge now, and it's an hour and a half before sunset. So I'm going to set up, well I've already set up, I'm going to take a shot here. So I'll just talk you through what I'm doing. I'm using the reflection in the puddle of the bridge as the foreground, and then the bridge and the blue sky up above, and then the grass is just kind of in there. And the way I've got it set up is so that the shot is angled, so the top of the bridge is angling from the top right hand corner of the frame down, and then the reflection is angling from the bottom right hand corner and up. F16, I'm not using any filters because I don't think I really need any. ISO 64, 16mm on the 16 to 35 lens, and I think we'll just do 1/25 of a second. That's kind of interesting. I shall probably crop this slightly. Might crop it 8x10. Might even crop it square. I don't know. I'll have to see what it looks like when I get it back on the computer. Actually, before I go, I'm going to do a vertical composition as well, because I think that might work better now that I come to look at it. So it's basically the same, still with the bridge angled across, still with the reflections. Still at f16, still 1/25 of a second. Yeah, I think that might work better. I think the portrait orientation is going to be a better shot. Okay, so I'm heading back towards the car now. It's still an hour and a bit before sunset, but I've actually got about an hour's walking to do to get back to the car before I can even start the drive home. So I've decided to start heading back for two reasons. One is we've got completely clear blue skies, so we're not going to get anything fantastic light wise. Even at the last possible moment when the sun's dipping behind the mountains, it's still going to be quite harsh light. And the second reason is I'm tired. I think by the time I've finished this, I'll have walked, I don't know, probably the best part of 15 kilometres, 16 kilometres, so that's getting on for 10 miles. and it's hot. I mean, even now it's must be in the mid 20s. This is definitely a beautiful location, and I definitely think it's one I'm going to revisit and do some more exploring. There's some interesting rock formations that, if you can find the right composition, will work well. And even the castle that I visited at the beginning, there's some possibilities there, but it really needs something in the sky, something to produce that, you know, a bit of drama, some nice clouds to pick up sunset or sunrise light. But yeah, definitely going to come back here. Not sure how soon. It might be in a few weeks, or it might be in the autumn. I don't know yet. Depends on what else comes up. Of course, with still the best part of an hour to walk back to the car, you never know what might hit me as I'm walking along. I might suddenly see something that I think is worth shooting, and if I do, well, I shall stop and shoot it. Okay, so I was on my way back to the car, and I could hear this sound of rushing water, and I kind of ducked through some bushes, and I found these waterfalls, which I'll try and show you now. Now, the problem I've got is the composition that works is shooting straight towards the sun. Now, I could wait until the sun drops below some kind of obstruction up there. I'm going to use a 2-stop soft ND grad to try and hold back the brightness in the sky, and I'm using a 6-stop ND filter, that's a little stopper, to slow the exposure down. The sun is just getting a little bit less harsh, so I'm going to look at setting the shot up now. I'm shooting 16 to 35 lens at 35mm. At the moment, f16, 2.5 seconds. It's looking pretty dark, but there's not a lot in the way of clipped shadows, so it should be recoverable. There might even be a little bit of a sun star up there. I'm hoping there's not too much flare, lens flare on the rest of the scene. You know, that might work. I'm going to do another shot, a little bit longer exposure, just to brighten up the foreground, because I can always merge them. So I'm going to do a shot at 5 seconds. I think we've got some flare there to worry about. And because it's foliage, it's going to be really, really difficult to take out. Now, of course, the problem I've got is all the foliage is moving, so I am going to take another shot without the long exposure, so a normal exposure one, so that I can merge it later. I'm just going to wait for that sun to go down a little bit further before I do that. Okay, so the sun's dropping just behind kind of some reeds and a little bit of a tree up on the top there, so that's blocking it out, and that will hopefully reduce some of the flare problems. Just taking a few shots, still at about 2.5 seconds at the moment. The sky is very bright, but I don't want to put a stronger filter in. What I may end up doing is exposure merging. So I've done a shot at 2.5 seconds. I'm going to do another one at 1.3 seconds, which will hopefully just take some of the brightness out of the sky. Yeah, that's better for the sky. And then I'm going to do another one at 5 seconds. that's a much better exposure on the foreground. And then I'll merge those later. But I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to now shoot a couple of exposures without the ND filter on, so that hopefully I can get nice still foliage. I know I've got plenty of exposures to play with. I don't know which ones I'm going to use yet, but hopefully I should be able to make an image from this. So, I wasn't expecting this, but hopefully this is my second image of the shoot. So that's it. I've got still got about half an hour to walk back to the car. So I'm going to get a move on now. It's almost sunset and I am tired. I've done a lot of walking. So hopefully a couple of nice images. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have and you want to see more, don't forget to hit the subscribe button unless you have already, in which case thank you very much for being a subscriber. Like, shares and comments as always really appreciated. And until the next video, thank you very much for watching. Bye.